Hello, hello.
Say test it.
Test, test, test. Hello everyone, and welcome to the AIA Kansas City Holiday Party. I am Ryan Warman, and I have been honored and humbled to serve as your board president this year. I believe it is important that we wrap up this year with a chapter celebration. And this is still a chapter celebration, even if we are not all in the same space. So thank you for tuning in this afternoon. If you've attended any of our other virtual events this year, either Big Night, Design Excellence Awards, our new universities, ARE study sessions, then you know the level of creativity and skill that our staff has brought to this brave new world of virtual event planning. I'd like to thank them now and ask you to join me in a round of applause for our amazing staff. I would like to ask them to come on stage for a moment to receive a token of our gratitude. So Dawn, Tiffany, Kristen, and Amy. Just right here. So this year we would not have been the success that we have been without all of your tireless devotion, your dedication to our members, and ability to adapt to a new normal. And on behalf of the entire board of directors, please accept this show of our gratitude for what each of you have done. Don's. Dawn, that's your award for captaining and guiding us through this year with an immense amount of optimism, leadership through what has not been an easy year at all. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan, so much.
Here you go.
Oh my gosh, wow.
We're kind of hijacking here for a moment. Tiffany. Tiffany.
Thank you.
For your financial acumen and being able to end this incredibly difficult year with a balanced budget. That is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kristen. Kristen is for producing an amazing virtual design awards that exceeded all of our expectations for the biggest night of the year of programming.
Thank you.
And Amy. For consistently making sure that all of our emerging professionals and our members have the resources that they need throughout this pandemic year. Thank you all so much for everything that you have done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I cannot tell you how many times we have heard from many of our members and our colleagues of how amazing of a staff that you guys all are, and we could not agree more. So speaking of amazing, we are honored to have 4 event sponsors for today's festivities. Our holiday party exclusive structural engineering sponsor is Bob D. Campbell and Company, celebrating their 18th year of sponsoring this event for us. Thank you to Mike, Monty, and Jim and the rest of your team. We really appreciate your incredible loyalty. Our lead sponsors are McCown Gordon Construction and Scott Rice. Thank you to our colleagues at these 2 companies for being event sponsors and valued friends. These sponsors sent a short greeting to all of us. Let's take a look.
McCown Gordon's really special for a lot of reasons. I love, the projects that we get to build, the clients that we get to serve, but I think a huge differentiator for McCown Gordon is our people and our culture. For me personally, I just love working with everybody at the company, and I think that makes a really big difference for our clients too, because we're fun to work with and easy to work with, and so that just changes the whole process of construction.
Happy holidays from Scott Rice. We're wishing all of our friends and partners through AIA and the Kansas City architecture and design community a happy and healthy new year.
And once again, we would like to offer a special thanks to our colleagues at BRR Architecture, who after so graciously assisting us with Big Night, again have offered their new office space as well as their extremely talented staff and the expertise of their own video production to make this virtual event a reality. Now I'd like to take a moment and thank our board of directors for their steady commitment to serve our chapter in the most unsteady year on record. It's astonishing to think back on the pivots and twists and turns that we've all endured this year in every aspect of our lives. And within our AIA Kansas City world, our board leaders remain focused on 2 things: delivering real value to our 1,172 members, and to advancing our strategic plan. The ambitions laid out in this plan that we launched just 1 year ago were profoundly tested as we confronted a global pandemic, economic instability, systemic racism, and on top of that, we had one of the most divisive national and state elections we have seen in a long time. Our priorities and our tactics came into sharp focus with all of these challenges, and our board and staff addressed each one, not as setbacks, but as opportunities to stretch out of our comfort zone and maintain our chapter's excellence. I also want to give some special recognition to our public directors this year. Stephanie and Rodney Smith of Sofix Solutions, and Don Greenwell of the Builders Association and Kansas City AGC. Their respective areas of expertise, their connections, and their outside points of view truly enhanced our board this year. We truly, truly appreciate you joining us, Stephanie, Rod, and Don. If you tuned in before 4 p.m. today, you saw a full overview of the year. And I have to say it's remarkable, especially this year. The impressive level of activities is thanks in part to our committee co-chairs. Through their hard work and flexibility, all of our committees contribute greatly to our chapter and our community this year. And while they were enhancing our chapter's performance, they were also developing into future leaders for the AIA Kansas City and their firms. Please take a look at the committees and their co-chairs here while I recognize them by name. For Women in Design, Emma Castro and Erin McKinney. Our Young Architects Forum co-chairs Bryce Cummings and Jake Brannon. Dan Soroki and Sally Wurtzler led our Equity in Architecture Committee. Education Outreach co-chairs were Jennifer Burka and James Everard. And for Advocacy Committee, Sam Loring and Randy Mixdorf. And our superb Design Excellence Awards co-chairs were Joy Coleman, Ashley Renfrew, and Galen Liff. Thank you to all of you for your commitment to our chapter. So much of our programs, excuse me, it wouldn't be a celebration. So much of our programs and operations are supported by our generous annual sponsors. Our 53 Cornerstone partners, including 4 new partners, are so important in the work that we do. This is our 18th year of the Cornerstone Partner Program, with 22 of our partners supporting our chapter for over 10 years. And this year, 3 of our Cornerstone partners reached that 10-year milestone: Centric, Seiler Instrument Company, and Wallace Engineering. We appreciate all of your companies and your commitment to supporting AI Kansas City all year long. Simply stated, a lot of what we offer to our members and to the community would not be possible without this support. Shifting to our other important endeavors, let me tell you about the Center for Architecture and Design this year. As founding members of the Center, we continue to be heavily involved in producing KC Design Week. While that event had to be canceled this year, the KC Design Week Committee is already planning events for 2021 and 2022. The Center did launch a Get Out the Vote poster competition in August to encourage people to register and vote in the national elections. And the judges included Representative Sharice Davids of Kansas, Michael Coates, AIA, and 3 other local and national designers. We are excited to see one of our very own members win 2nd place in the poster contest. Thank you to everyone that continues to engage with the network, with the work of the Center. It is something that really sets our chapter apart from our AIA peers. Our current board secretary, Bill Bourne, and Kimball Hales have represented AIA Kansas City on the Center's board this year. And next year, Ashley Hand will join their board in her dual role, also serving as AIA Kansas City Board Secretary. At the state level, our members serve on AIA Missouri's Board of Directors, elevating the voice of our members and our industry with state lawmakers. I want to thank Tony McGrail, Laura Pastine, Alexandra Bajarski-Stauffer, Albert Ray, and Michael Hewley for their leadership with important legislative advocacy. Albert and Mike have reached the end of their 3-year terms, and I want to thank them on behalf of the entire chapter for their service. We will soon announce their replacements. Our chapter also gives back and provides financial support to the future generation of architects through the Kansas City Architectural Foundation. As you all know, we have a close relationship with KCAF, and several of our board members serve on the KCAF board. I am pleased to recognize the following member firms that donated this year to the Kansas City Architectural Foundation campaign as of December 7. Otomo, Strata Architecture and Preservation. In addition, our College of Fellows members are establishing a new scholarship at the foundation, and I'd like to recognize those generous FAIA donors to date. You can see their names here. At this point in the program, you're probably expecting to hear a bunch of numbers that illustrate all of our chapter's accomplishments this year. 15, that is how many years our award-winning Pillars Leadership Program has produced future managers and principals for your firms and future board members for our organization. 23 is the number of virtual universities we have held since May. Including the 4 live universities we held pre-COVID, we provided continuing education to over 1,100 members. 56 of you took part in our November 13th Design for Equity Symposium, with the goal to identify and implement ways of creating a deeper sense of belonging in our member firms and in our profession. We have had 645 views on YouTube and Vimeo for our Design Excellence Awards. Considering that we usually welcome approximately 350 people to a live event, that number of views is fantastic. Our members and staff volunteered to create 6 Black Lives Matter street murals throughout Kansas City, Missouri over Labor Day weekend. And I do have no idea the exact number of paint cans, rollers, pieces of chalk, but I can assure you those numbers were sizable. These were just a few accomplishments that made an impact in what seems like the approximately 2,469 days of 2020. But the most important number to me, however, is the number 130. That is the number of years our chapter has existed. And although this year has had challenges, we will come out of this stronger than we have ever been. We have adapted to new formats of providing relevant programming that will continue to benefit all of our members. We also created new programming that has allowed us to have honest conversations about systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our profession and the world. And I could not be more proud of the work and the successes that we have had in 2020. I would like to personally thank all of you as members of this organization for supporting and engaging with us this year. Now I want to hand this off to our YF co-chairs, Bryce Cummings and Jake Brannon, to let you know about this year's Monsters of Design competition.
Hello everyone, I'm Jake Brannon and I'm co-chair for AIA Kansas City's Young Architects Forum. In a typical year, YF offers programming catered toward young professionals such as hard hat tours, hands-on building experiences, and licensure resources. We all know 2020 has been far from a normal year, but despite this, we've still found ways to support emerging professionals within our chapter. We're happy to share one of those events with you here tonight, Monsters of Design. Longtime members of our chapter are likely familiar with YAF's Monsters of Design competition as a staple event of years past. In recent years, we've made it our goal to revamp this annual event and find new ways to showcase some of the great work being done by young people within our chapter. In 2020, we've continued this effort by asking participants to submit their best examples of diagramming. Graphic communication is a critical skill in our profession and one of the most powerful tools available to us as designers. We're happy to say that participation has far exceeded our expectations this year, with nearly 70 entries received. While we won't be able to display each entry sufficiently here tonight, we encourage you all to visit the YF page on the AIA KC website, where you can view each submission at your own pace. To select the top 3 entries, we assembled a panel of architects, graphic designers, and others with relevant areas of focus. Voting was conducted blind in a dot poll style format where each panelist offered their unique perspective to select our top 3 submissions. We'd like to give a big thank you to all of our panelists and to all of those that submitted work this year. The votes have been tallied, and I'm happy to announce this year's Monsters of Design winners. In 3rd place, our winner of the Drawing Architecture Graphic Compendium by Phaidon is Travis Snell. This series of diagrams explains the facade concept for a potential apartment building located directly adjacent to the rail yard of Kansas City's Union Station. The facade is first organized by a rigid linear grid akin to parallel train tracks. Then superimposed on that grid is a more irregular, undulating pattern similar to the ephemeral, moving rail cars of a train. Well done, Travis. In 2nd place, our winner of the Dash Task Lamp, graciously provided by Steelcase, is Hopped. Blake Street is a social health and wellness club located just a few blocks away from Downtown Square in Bentonville, Arkansas. The property was programmed to consider public and private access, addressing how visitors and club members would interface with pedestrian and vehicle traffic. Great work. Finally, in first place, our winner of the Wacom Digital Drawing Tablet is Alonzo Ortega. This diagram shows how the role of human activity in the progression of climate change has all but ensured the possibility of disastrous flooding. As a result, climate adaptation mitigation strategies are increasingly becoming a critical focus of the architectural profession. From predicting the manufacturing of process on future homes to thinking about how social architecture will play a vital role in how we adapt, the future of buildings, and more specifically homes, will demand adaptation to climate catastrophe through a thoughtful connection to the site and fixed infrastructure. Great job. Thank you again to all that participated, and congratulations to our winners. On behalf of my fellow co-chair Bryce Cummings and incoming co-chair Tara Bray, I'd like to wish you all a good night and happy holidays.
Thank you, Jake. And now it is time for our annual board awards. This year, a special task force created a more meaningful nominating and review process for these important chapter awards. Although we're not able to hand these awards out to each recipient in person today, we were able to surprise them at work or during staff Zoom meetings. I'd like to start with a special recognition award to the Urban Neighborhood Initiative and the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce for their listening sessions on being Black in Kansas City. The Chamber and UNI collaborated on 5 webinars this summer, bringing together voices in the Black community to examine systemic racism in our metro. They gathered Black youth for one session. They gathered Black banking and financial service professionals for another. They examined the history of structural racism in Kansas City. These representations were earnest, illuminating, and even sometimes heartbreaking. Our board and our committees are still referencing some of these discussions and the knowledge gained from this important series. Congratulations to Joe Reardon, President, CEO at the KC Chamber, and to Diane Cleaver, President, CEO of UNI, for their leadership in convening these incredible sessions. Our next award is the President's Award for Advocacy of Architecture. It is exciting when an institution of higher education, particularly a design school that is highly regarded, sets forth an ambitious plan for campus improvements. New buildings for academics, residences, and amenities often take years to conceive, gain approval, design, and complete construction. This year, I want to present my President's Award to the Kansas City Art Institute for their dedication to great design and for consistently partnering with local design talent here in our chapter. The Kansas City Art Institute, led by Tony Jones, CBE, the Nerman family president of the Kansas City Art Institute, is the recipient of this special award for advocacy. Some of the distinguished work that has been recently completed on the Institute campus includes the Barbara Marshall Residence Hall, Wiley Dining, and the Nerman Cafe, designed by Helix Architecture and Design with Christopher Carvel Architects. The Paul and Linda DeBruce Hall, designed by Huff. The renovation of the Art Institute's historic Vanderslice Mansion by Gastinger Walker, along with projects completed by Gould Evans and many other design firms within our community. We honor the Kansas City Art Institute as advocates of architects and architecture, and as they demonstrate the value of collaborating with design professionals in our community to enhance the experience for their students, their faculty, and staff. Congratulations. The Emerging Professional Award goes to an AIA Kansas City member who has shown exceptional leadership and made significant contributions to the profession in the early stages of his or her architecture career. The board this year selected a member that is a model of how to show leadership both within her firm as well as outside, and it is my honor to present this award to Ellen Haley, AIA. Ellen was nominated by the leadership team at Helix. Members of her firm describe that Ellen embodies all the qualities of a leader, both at Helix and in the community. She is dedicated, hardworking, and thoughtful. She not only sees her responsibility as an architect in Kansas City, but is constantly looking and following through on ways to engage in our community. Eric Wyanko of Kopek and Brooks mentioned Ellen's performance on our project made the experience enjoyable and culminated in an award-winning building that has been well received by the community, and from a client's perspective, that is the highest level of service that an architect can provide. Ann Enig with the Girl Scouts emphasized that Ellen stood out as a project leader and architect. but it was Ellen's leadership outside of the realm of project delivery that Ann wanted to recognize. Ellen is a gracious and enthusiastic teacher to our Girl Scout community, hosting hands-on and interactive learning sessions, devising an in-person design charrette with an all-female team of multiple disciplines, along with project site visits. The Helix Architecture Scavenger Hunt has been wildly successful with our Girl Scouts and their families, and it has instilled in the Girl Scouts a discernment for architecture and design, which we hope will translate into more Girl Scouts pursuing architecture as their future profession. She is passionate about ensuring the sustainability of architecture and creating space for more female voices at the table. Ellen Haley is a model of how professionals in our chapter are leading and strengthening our profession for the future, and we are pleased to honor her with this award. The Chapter Volunteer Award is for an AIA Kansas City member who has given exceptional volunteer support for and made significant contributions to the chapter. The AIA Kansas City Board this year has chosen to recognize a member who has gone above and beyond in volunteering for the chapter, and it's my honor to present this award to Jake Brannon, Associate AIA. As a member of this year's Pillars Leadership Program, as well as the current Young Architects Forum co-chair, and nominated by his colleagues at Gould Evans, Jake has been instrumental in providing opportunities for our young members to become more involved and to grow in the AIA. As part of YF, Jake spent many hours designing and assembling welcome packages for new grads who are beginning their career in Kansas City. This thoughtful gift included coffee, notebook, pens, and a plant to welcome new members to AIAKC, giving them a positive impression of our chapter and involving them in our peer community. This out-of-the-box thinking, no pun intended, shows his passion and commitment to our profession and chapter. Additionally, Jake stepped up in a huge way when the organizers of KC Art on the Block's Black Lives Matter street murals requested technical drawings of all 6 mural locations. This task was critical to the success of the murals, and Jake offered his expertise and followed through on every detail of the drawings. He even hand measured at the mural sites, revising several drawings in the hours before the mural installation began. Then on the day of the mural installation in September, Jake was captain of the technical team at the 63rd and Truce location to lay out the line work for the artist to create that mural. This project has had a dramatic impact on our community, and Jake received national recognition when his photo and photo credit appeared in USA Today. With his firm, Jake has taken a leadership role teaching others best practices for model building, and we greatly appreciate the time and dedication that Jake has provided to our chapter and look forward to seeing his continued contributions within our profession. The Firm Award is to an AIA Kansas City member firm that has shown exceptional leadership and made significant contributions to the profession and the built environment. The AIA Kansas City Board this year is recognizing Gastinger Walker for their strong commitment to the profession and our chapter. Their dedication to both design and to accomplishing their clients' goals with projects that enhance the health, safety, and welfare of the community. Gastinger Walker has been a significant resource to our chapter by continuously supporting and encouraging their staff to be involved as members. They volunteer within the community and their dedication to their profession. Our chapter has been fortunate to have many of the staff of Gastinger Walker provide significant contributions and leadership on our board and committees. Many of the most successful programs that we provide have benefited from members of their staff, including the Committee on the Environment, Pillars, Education Outreach, our Equity Symposium, Women in Design, and our annual Design Excellence Awards. The firm's staff has led many of these committees over the years and was instrumental in the founding of our Equity and Architecture Committee in 2017. Gastinger Walker also makes many contributions to our community and profession outside of our chapter, as well as state and national AI positions, NCARB, the Kansas City Chamber, Downtown Council of Kansas City, university boards, and preservation groups. This firm has been recognized with many design awards that show their commitment to design excellence, historic preservation, and sustainability. And the support for this nomination by Dave Brose of Gensler stated the significant partnership between these two firms has been, calling it, a partnership that goes beyond just business and creating lasting bonds that clients feel, and architecture that is award-winning. Deborah Mann, the Executive Director of the Emmanuel Family and Child Development Center, shared that from day one, Gastinger Walker went above and beyond to create a beacon for the community and provide hope to our children, their families, and the East Side Kansas City community. In February 2021, Gastinger Walker will celebrate 40 years in business, and what a fitting recognition for this firm to recognize them as the AIA Kansas City Firm of the Year. The Architect Award recognizes an AIA Kansas City member for long-standing distinguished leadership and dedication to architecture, the profession, and the community. This award is our chapter's highest honor. This award shines a spotlight on a member who, by his or her own example and service, has made significant contributions to the advancement of the profession and to the community. The AIA Kansas City Board this year presents this award to Tim Cahill, FAIA, for his exemplary professional career and contributions to our profession, both regionally and nationally. Nominated by Chris Migneron at HNTB, along with letters of support from his colleagues at HNTB and Populous, it is clear the impact that Tim has had throughout his career. He has been instrumental in the planning and design of some of Kansas City's most historic and iconic buildings, as well as buildings around the country. His leadership at HNTB as Chief Design Officer provides mentoring to young professionals as well as to seasoned architects, along with providing opportunities for community involvement. Tim has held many board positions in our chapter and has been a huge resource to us. His contribution as a mentor was highlighted by Darren Nielsen, who recounted the numerous ways that Tim has shown he is a teacher, a mentor, and an advisor. His commitment to our profession shines, as Darren states. Tim showed me that a leader must display courage to push the practice forward, the vision to understand leaders' progress by developing those around them, and be able to provide levity in times of uncertainty. Todd Voth, senior principal at Populous, noted the professional impact that Tim has made with stadiums and airports across the country. Todd also reminded us that Tim has served on AIA's National Board of Directors, the AIA Central States Board of Directors, and locally as our own chapter president and various other board positions and committees. He is also a current member of the AIA Large Firm Roundtable. Tim is having an impact on the future of our profession with dedicated efforts to advance the growth of students and young professionals in his role as member of the University of Kansas School of Architecture and Design Advisory Board. Civic stewardship is evident with his involvement in Harvesters, the Community School Partnership Program, Christmas in October, and Kansas City Tomorrow Leadership Development Program. Tim Cahill has been steadfast in his commitment to our profession and his dedication to our community. We are honored to have him as part of our chapter and to recognize him as our 2020 Architect of the Year. Congratulations to all of our award winners. Let's raise a glass to them. I would now like to call on Amy Eckhoff, our 2021 AIA Kansas City President, to say a few words about the plans and opportunities for 2021. Amy? Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Ryan. I continue to be so impressed by all of you and your dedication. Thank you. Our responsibility to our Kansas City community has come into sharp focus this year. Our work directly impacts our neighbors, our friends, and our children. From climate change to equitable housing, we are in a unique position to continue to make an impact. Tonight is a night to celebrate, and you and I applaud you for I just screwed that up, didn't I? Tonight is a night to celebrate you, and I applaud you for the hard work and resiliency you've shown this past year. This is your organization. On behalf of AIA Kansas City, I promise you we are redoubling our efforts towards our strategic plan goals. A few things you can expect in 2021. We will continue to find ways to help our educators teach design as a mindset and expose future generations to the power of design. We are developing ways to partner with our colleagues at the National Organization of Minority Architects to advance our common goals around equity, diversity, and inclusion, so we can truly create a culture of belonging. We will continue to create opportunities for participation on our committees to encourage new perspectives and create valuable connections. We will find more ways to improve our peers' mentorship and Pillars leadership development programs. We'll keep celebrating our accomplishments, and we'll expand ways to elevate the voice of our profession. We really learned a lot this year. There are successes we can take with us into the future, and a new appreciation for how technology can help us save time. For instance, we plan to continue to host many of our universities virtually so that all corners of the metro region can take advantage of continuing education opportunities. We enter 2021 with optimism, ambition, a renewed sense of purpose, and an abundant amount of gratitude. Our chapter is strong, and that is because of you, our members and our partners. I have been blown away this year by your agility and your enthusiasm. On behalf of Ryan and the entire AIA Kansas City Board of Directors, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Have a happy and healthy holiday season. Cheers.